And here we go. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 5 of The Huddle. I'm Ed Tate from BlueBombers.com. We are here in our lovely, fancy, smanchy studio here at Princess Auto Stadium. And I'm pleased. We're live on YouTube and on X this week. Very pleased to be joined for the second time by the immortal Sergio Castillo, the kicker for the Blue Bombers.
How we doing, boss?
We're doing good, boss. How are you?
You know, I can't complain. The only thing is, I can't reach this chair, you know? My feet can't reach the floor, but other than that, I think
we're going to get into a lot of stuff. I got to ask you right off the top, though. You're wearing glasses. What's going on?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know if you, we had 23,000 fans, right?
Yeah.
And then the people that got to see the game live, I had a tackle.
You did?
I did, right? And so when I bump into the guy, right, like a little smidget, right, the shoulder blade right there, got a little red right there. And so now, just to, I'm not putting the contacts on right now, just so he can heal up.
You look like an intellectual man. Plus, you're a tough guy because you hit that guy out of bounds.
Yeah, it's Taco Tuesday, so I have to be. But no, no, it didn't come from that. Honestly, I don't know.
Oh.
The day after the game, Rihanna, I woke up like this, and I woke up like I was putting my contacts on. Next thing you know, big old red eye. I was like, holy moly. I freaked out. Good thing it was Al was here. He took a photo, and he's like, you'll be fine. He sent it to our eye doctor, and he's like, oh, no, he's good.
Okay.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But, I was, before Al answered, I sent the photo to ChatGPT. I'm like, hey, what is this? And, I was like, don't worry about it.
That's a good place to get your medical advice from.
You can't even get, counseling and everything through there, right? So, but, yeah, just to let, little redness in the eye, but no biggie, right?
Okay.
I'm still practicing,
Do you have a clause in your contract for special teams tackles?
No, I don't.
It's time to renegotiate.
Sheesh, I'm not going to lie. I got scared when I saw him. Like, sheesh, he was running fast. And, I only got one speed, and that's not fast.
You did a good job, though. You kind of muscled him out of bounds.
Well, this is what happened, right? And it just happened out of the blue, right? I saw him coming, and when I saw the gap open, I don't know why, but I don't know if y'all saw, I put my hands up. I'm like, Woody. And
yeah, that works.
For a second, we locked eyes, or half a second, and he lost focus, and he couldn't break my ankles anymore, and then we ended up running to each other. But, yeah, look at the film. I went,
so that will be your trick on every time a guy's
coming at you. That's what it is. I do it to Jared to get his attention, and, he locks in on me, so it worked. We're 1 for 1.
All right, usually there's a script to the show, but we're already way off the script here. So I love you, Serge.
I
know. You got to roll with the punches, man.
That's right.
Yeah, you got to bob and weave. Okay, like it says right here.
Nice.
Thanks for joining us again, Sergio. Fist bump. We already did this, but I'll do it again. Okay. This week we'll hit on a bunch of topics, including your what I call zest for life, which I love. The fact you always have a smile on your face, but as we always do, we start with the Coors Light Chill Chat.
Oh, we're the Coors Lights. Oh, man, it's a work day. I got meetings in an hour to be exact.
Welcome to the Coors Light Chill Chat. I got to read this here, okay? Let me do this.
Sorry.
Welcome to the Coors Light Chill Chat, a chance to kick back and get to know the Blue Bombers players a little better. Proudly brought to you by Coors Light, the official beer and the chilled choice of the Blue Bombers.
There's regular cold, and then there's the mountains are blue cold. Mountain cold refreshment. Coors Light, the chill choice.
Okay, we're back. I had to put my glasses on for this part, Sergio. I'm just looking just like you. I don't have any red things on my... But anyway, okay.
It's because I had a tough day.
Last year when we did this show, I watched it again, so I didn't ask you the same questions. But last year, you had the gun show going, man.
Yeah.
No gun show?
I mean, I think it's there, right? People ask me why you work out, right? I mean, obviously here it's not looking too hot right now, right? Too many tortillas and, pan dulce, which is Mexican sweetbread, right? If there's any sugar around me, I'm like, give it to me, right? But, I just work out for the wifey, I want to look good for her, right? Like, obviously the gains on the field work too, right? But, show up home once in a while, surprise the wife, Papa, I'm here.
So...
No, it's because we got these new shirts, right? And You know?
That looks good. Yeah, you're filling it out properly.
Ah, you're too kind, man. You're too
filling
kind.
it out properly.
You're too kind. Is it because it's Tuesday?
It's Tuesday.
Tequila Tuesday.
Okay. Taquito Tuesday. I thought it was Taco Tuesday.
Hey, we make double T.
Okay.
Tequila and tacos.
All right. Okay. We always start with food questions. So I'm going to get back to this because last year when we had you on, Cheetos came up twice.
Yes.
First, you said on a sandwich.
Oh, yes.
And then the second time was the frozen Cheetos on a pepperoni pizza thing. And Josh can help me with this, our producer Josh, because we put a clip together on that, and it had like a gabillion hits on socials.
It's right? If you haven't seen it, we'll try to throw a link to it. But that is, I think, maybe Sam can correct me, the most viral clip we've ever put out on our socials. I think we were on the golf course after that happened. I remember you texted me, Serge, and you
they
said,
didn't invite me to go golf. Look at that.
you texted me and said, hey, this video is at like 111,000 views. And we're like, what are you talking about? And then it was another 100,000 and another 100,000 and another. And it ended up being like 1.3 million views on that video.
See, I don't think you created a new taste sensation, at least new for a lot of people, the frozen Cheetos on. No, the frozen Cheetos.
Frozen hot Cheetos, yeah. And it's just,
Cheetos.
I think, food can make anyone happy, right? You have a bad day, boom, food, right? Like the other day we had sandwiches. So I had to go to the store. I went to the Canadian Superstore, and I got myself some hot Cheetos. They have to go in the sandwich. It's the only way to do it.
So
I didn't get to freeze them in time, right?
Yeah, but they're on the sandwich and the pizza.
And
you're
the sandwich
putting them in
and the
your,
pizza.
your cereal now and what?
No.
That's too
That's too much.
Oh,
but you
sorry.
need you need.
I went over the top.
Yeah. We're not going there yet. Hey, but you need spice in your life. No spice, no life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right. So you don't put the Cheetos on anything else then?
I'm trying to think. Not yet. I mean, you get some bean dip. Oh, you know what you can do? Get some lime. Put it all over the hot Cheetos. Or honestly, any chips too, right? Like Doritos. But you got to get the spicy ones.
Okay.
See, no.
So I don't mean to insult you. Are you a good cook? Do you cook a lot?
Comme si, comme ça,
Oh, now French a little bit.
Si, oui, yeah. I started the Duolingo, French, Okay. I'm on a 6-day streak right now. Je suis Sergio. Oui. When it comes to cooking, I'm decent, get me a grill, though. I'll be grilling all night.
Yeah.
But the rule is, when you come in the house, as soon as you come in the house, when we're grilling, you got to take a shot. That's the rule of tequila, right? And with my wife's family, there's only 134 of them, right? So there's a birthday every 3 to 4 days. And the rule is in the family.
Only 134.
A little lightweight, right? Yeah. If your birthday's during the week, no matter what, we have to do a birthday cake. We sing happy birthday, and then we go to the house. But, brother, if your birthday's on the weekend, you better prepare. Bring some Red Bulls because it's not just a 4 or 5 hour birthday party. It's, 24 to 48 hours, right? People sleep over, right? We'll go till 4 or 5 in the morning, and then we'll take a little break till like 10 a.m. Then, Mami Silvia, right? My mother-in-law, she'll be cooking fresh homemade tortillas. It's like a slap. That's how you wake up of just freshness. And then we keep going. And the next thing you know, I'm on the flat grill again. I'm making pancakes, chorizo and eggs, papas, potatoes. Man, it's a good day.
So how old is Jared?
4.5.
So when Jared has a birthday party, you're all doing shots?
Brother, it's here's the thing. We buy so much alcohol, and it's a 1-year-old birthday party, and he's knocked out half of the time. We're over here going for days, right? Now, I'm not much of a beer guy. Yeah. I'm more of tequila, right? Give me some club soda, some Topo Chico with lime and salt, right? And a little shot in 3/4, it's not 2 shots, but, in there. And we're good to go, brother. I'm on the grill, boom, 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 boom. And it's Jared's birthday. It'll be Nico's birthday. It'll be Israel's birthday. These are all my nieces and nephews, right?
134 of them.
134 of them. I kid you not, right? In the beginning, when we started dating, I'm like, Adriana, like, we would go till 4 or 5 in the morning. I'm like, I needed a break. So I would take a nap like at 12 or 1 o'clock at night. And then like, where did Serge go? Sure enough, I was out, and then I come back. But then I like being clean too, right? So like, I'm grilling, and mind you, all the grill masters out there, you're grilling for like 3-4 hours, and then before you get a taco in your mouth, right? So I finish grilling, and then I go shower, because I don't like smelling like carne, like meat, right? So, and I like just being clean, right? So I'll go shower and like, where did Serge go? They thought I took a nap. No, I just went to go clean up and then boom, feast. But you got to have some good salsa too, you know?
Yeah.
That's the only way to do it.
Okay.
No spice, no life.
No spice, no life.
That might be
and
a new
nobody
hashtag.
wants to smell like meat. Those are two good tips right there.
Yeah.
You should get those on a T-shirt.
No
T-shirt.
spice, no life.
No spice, no life.
That's
Don't
right.
smell like meat. Okay. Okay. Do you have if you're so you get on the grill? Would you ever grill for the whole the whole line?
Hey, yeah, you know, Zach and I, we actually talked about it, right? Zach and I, our conversations are always about food, right? About grilling, right? And then the other half that I'm, you know, venting to him, I was like, man, I gotta lose some weight. But I just love food so much. But yeah, we talked about it like, hey, maybe we can get a flat grill and just cook it up for the guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's nothing new, right? Like, you know, the wifey would tell me at 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday, she's like, hey, we got about 40 people coming. Can you cook and grill for them? I was like, okay. And boom. So I'm already under that type of pressure with, you know, making quantities, a plethora. Look at my word of the day, right? Can't be too egregious.
Oh, there's two. Plethora and egregious.
Egregious. I learned that one. So here's the thing. I try to learn a word, English word of the week, like a high class one, right? And egregious, I learned it 2 days ago in meetings when Osh was talking after a game. I can't recall what the sentence was, but I remembered it and I wrote it down. I'm like, ooh.
Egregious.
Egregious.
Yeah. I've made some egregious errors in my life,
Oh,
Sergio. I just thought I'd let
brother,
you know.
all of us.
Do you have any foods? I'm trying to keep this on the rails. By the way.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any food?
The rails are gone. They've already disappeared.
That's true.
This is free form. Just throw the paper
There
out.
are no rails.
Throw the
there
paper
are no
out.
Wheels. Okay. Do you have any food that you crave that you can't get here in Winnipeg?
A discada. A discada. Discada. So disco. Disco's disc in Spanish, right? So you can Google it, or you get it's a big old disc, right? And then you can turn it up with either like wood, right? Or propane tank, right? Gas, right? And so what it is you cook, it's all cold cuts, right? So, but you start by making the bacon, sausage, chorizo, and then ground beef. And then you throw in some potatoes, right? And then chile, tomate, cebolla. So that's onions, chile, tomatoes, right? And then you mix it all together. And then you make little taquitos of corn tortillas, right? These small little ones. And, brother, you just slap on, get 4 or 5 of them around. Let's go, right?
You can't get that here?
I mean, I probably could make it, but I need a flat grill, right? So it can be kind of decent, right?
Yeah. You want it authentic.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's that, but obviously some. Oh man, I wish I had a grill. So get some beef fajitas with sausage, and then start making the tortillas on there. And then when I make my salsas now, I'll put them on the flat grill. I'll put some oil on it, and then put the tomatoes, the onions, the jalapenos, and they come to life. Oh man, that's so good.
Okay, now you're getting melancholy.
Ooh, I gotta jot that one down.
Which, if we're making a movie,
Ooh.
the Sergio Castillo story, which Hollywood actor is playing you?
Me?
Yeah.
Y'all seen maybe the movie End of Watch? What's it? That's him.
Michael Pena.
Michael Pena. Pena.
What else has he been in? Josh, what else has he been in?
Narcos.
Narcos, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of movies.
Yeah. Okay.
Now that I'm bald, maybe Hector. I don't know what his name is, but in all the movies is Hector. There's not the one with Friday. Day. Oh no, not that one. We were watching that movie the other day with the boys. With Bobo.
Hector's
Bobo's funny, man.
Jamal Woods.
Yeah. What's
Is
his
that-
name? Nah, I'm joking. We all have nicknames here, right? You go through half a season like, oh, that's his real name, right?
So Jamal Woods is a funny dude.
Oh man, he is hilarious.
Okay.
Hilarious.
Well, let's mark him down to get him on the show.
Yeah,
here,
you got to
Josh.
get him on here.
Okay.
You know he does. Well, he's not paying me to do this, but he does music.
I've heard.
Yeah, and he's actually pretty smooth with
Okay.
the bars, like the brothers say, the bars.
We'll get him on then, and we'll get him to do some smooth.
Oh, and man, he, it's Sunday slow jams. He'll sing you Sunday slow jams.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, he's got a smooth voice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any game day or rituals or superstitions?
Oh yeah, brother, it's not good. So last year, the wifey flew in, and Jared or this might have been towards the end while they were here for the 2 months in the summer, right? Because they come for the summer, and we're playing I can't recall who we're playing, but I like eating my omelet, right? Meat lovers omelet, right? Bacon, sausage, ham, put chorizo in there. No cheese on the omelet though, okay? And if it can be 5 eggs, please.
Okay.
Jalapenos or salsa, right? And pancakes, right? So I ate I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 pancakes. Well, Jared didn't finish his. Next thing you know, I put another 4 down. And Adriana was just on me. She's like, Sergio, you got to eat healthy. You're a pro player. And mind you, and there's one thing in my game, I don't eat clean. The majority of the time, right? I do work out a lot, right? She's like, you should have a 6-pack by now. I'm like, I know. But I down easy 9 or 10 pancakes. It was bad. But then I went 6 for 6. So she's like, well, I can't say anything now, right?
Yeah.
So then the next time that we played at home, she made me pancakes, and I downed 9 or 10 of them again.
And you did well?
Oh, yeah.
Well, and so did you have pancakes on Saturday when you went 5 for 5?
What did I have on Saturday? Yeah, we did. Well, it was waffles. Because
Okay.
we were
Well,
here.
that kind of counts.
Yeah, it counts. Yeah. It was here at the university where we ate, and I downed 5 of them too, right? But they were big too.
Okay. So now every game day you got to do at least 5 then.
Easily.
Yeah.
Right. The pant size might not be happy about that, but
As long as the ball goes through between the uprights.
Yeah, it does. I remember when I met Matt Bryant in 2014. He was a kicker for the Atlanta Falcons, right? And for me, he was an idol, right? And then to be behind him, and I would ask him hey, what do you advise me? Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, well, brother, I've put on a couple pounds, and he just goes like this. But hey, I make them now. Ever since I started working, not work out as hard in the gym, I was like, damn. And he was just killing it, from 2014, even before that till he retired. I was like, now that I think about it, I'm kind of following his footsteps with the, I got my own thing with pancakes and hot Cheetos.
Okay. I think we need to be on the Sergio Castillo diet. There's a book, probably movie rights or TV rights for you to make a whole diet, the Sergio
it would not
Castillo
be good.
diet.
It would not be good. So
Before
before
what are you talking about? It'd be great.
I know. Before I flew in, the mother-in-law stayed at the house because it was the wifey's birthday, and she was there for 3 days. Brother, I was eating. She was making homemade tortillas all day long, and I would eat 12 a day. 4 in the morning, 4 midday, 4 at dinner. I was like, there goes me being under 200 pounds.
Well, something's working because you were crushing the 50-yarders over and over again.
Yeah, it's all that rice and beans. That really is in the tortillas,
Yeah.
right? You give me some good harina, boom, we'll get going.
Okay. I think.
Hey, and the Hallett still, shout out to Noah, I miss you. Hey, but he was a good baker.
Okay.
And he's still baking. He sent me a photo the other day.
Noah Hallett.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, good shout out there. I feel like kickers are kind of like hockey goalies. You got these idiosyncrasies and things that you have to do, superstitions.
Yeah,
right?
just a bit, and so it's true, right? Superstitious, but then I got to remind myself, and this is something I write down every day, be superstitious about the 6 months of work that you put in. Right?
That's pretty deep, man.
You get what I'm saying is I did this week, maybe I should do this week. I'm like, no, you spent from December till we flew here, working mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. And so I'm like, why not be superstitious on that? Right? I have a bad day here, or whatever, 2 bad days. I'm like, don't forget about the 6 months of work that you put in. And I was just like, I've been taking that mental note the past 2 years.
Yeah.
And because there will be times I'll be like, I did this on this day, on day 3 or day 2, and I'm like, no, be superstitious about the 6 months of off-season work that you put in.
Yeah.
And so, because the mind can play tricks on you.
Yeah.
Right? So that's a way that I've been.
Well, that's good. Don't write off what you've already done because you had one bad day at
Exactly.
the office.
Again, and once you accept that bad days are going to happen, because they're going to happen, it's just like, oh, no big deal. I'm not a robot.
Yeah.
Right? So.
Right on. I like it. Another T-shirt for the Sergio. There'll be a whole line of Sergio Castillo sayings on T-shirts upstairs in the store. Okay, if you weren't a professional football player, what would you be doing?
I wish. I don't know if it would have happened, but it'd be nice to play soccer, right? When I was in high school, my sophomore year, I started playing football. And I didn't pay much attention to soccer, to the craft of being a goalie, right? Because I started dividing my time now through, because I was in band as well, right? So
You were in band?
I was in band. I was on the drum line. Yeah.
Did I know that?
Did we know that?
Did we know that he was in the band?
No,
Drum line?
Drum line.
Okay.
So, Puro Coyote, right? La Jolla High School. So, check this out, right? So, on my freshman year, the way I started kicking, on Wednesdays, I didn't play football. I was just in band in the fall, and in the spring / winter, I was in soccer / baseball. I'm a baseball guy. And on Wednesdays, we didn't have band practice, so it's the second, third week of the season, right? And I go chill out with my soccer buddies, right? And I remember La Jolla High School, we had 3 campuses. We're like a little mini college. It was close to like 5,000 kids.
Wow.
And so the campus where at Jimmy Carter High, where we practiced soccer, we were practicing there. And I remember Coach Tames was like, like my dad. He had some footballs there, and we were kicking them. Didn't think much of it, right? This is early in the football season, early in the school year. Fast forward to end of the school year, it's, May. And he's like, hey, Sergio, remember back like in September when you were kicking those footballs? I'm like, yeah, why? He's like, well, the football team needs a kicker. And he's like, you should go try out. I didn't show up for 3 weeks. Because at the time when I was going out with my first girlfriend, she's like, you better not go because then all the cheerleaders are going to like you, right? And, me, all in puppy love, right? First girlfriend, I paid attention, right? And my neighbor, Homer Acevedo, he told me, hey, Sergio, the football coach has been asking for you. How come you haven't shown up? I'm like, I don't want to play. He's like, nah, you're coming. And I showed up, and I remember Coach Aron Garcia. I remember he was a special teams coach. He was doing chest flights. He was bald. And our weight room, no AC. And he was just yoked, and I just saw him, and I was freaked out. I'm like, always, I was scared. Anyway, we kicked field goals. I don't know how I did, right? Summer rolls around. Fast forward to we're in band camp. August the 8th, 2006. I was the bass drum.
Oh, the bass drum. Okay.
I was a big one for the dummies because I couldn't catch on, right? Hey, the biggest bass drum is the easiest one, right? You just play on the first note, first beat, boom, right? You start everything, right? It was perfect for me, right? Because it took me a while to understand the splits and all that stuff, right? So later on, I caught on. My thing is the marimbas and the xylophone. I can play that, right? Yeah, I love marimbas.
Okay.
In concert season, which is in the spring. Anyway.
I'm
back. We're in marching season. It's August the 8th, 2006. I'm a sophomore in high school. Mr. Ruben Adame, our band director, he's up on the podium, right? On this big old tower. He's like, hey, Sergio, Coach Villaseñor, the head coach of football, wants to talk to you. And I'm like, why does he want to talk to me? I had totally forgot about the tryout 2 months ago. And I show up, and I remember Coach Garcia's right there again. I remember entering the locker room, and there's a big old coyote in red, and it said Coyote Den. Coyote Den, in case no one understood my accent. And I remember walking to the locker, and I see 2 lockers before I see mine. I saw Richard Cantu, number 24, and Joe Garza, number 27. They were the only sophomores on varsity. And then I saw 26, Sergio Castillo. And Coach Garcia's like, you're going to be a Coyote. And I was like, oh. And back then, La Jolla High used to be one big high school, and we would pack it up like 6,000-8,000 people. You know, like it was the thing to do, right? And I remember telling Coach Villaseñor, I'm like, hey, I appreciate you, but if I can't march, I'm not gonna play football, because at the time I wanted to be a music major. And he's like, oh no, we'll find a way. And mind you, I didn't pay much attention to football back in the day, and football wasn't really my thing. So I go back, and Mr. Adame, my banter, is all excited. He's like, hey, Sergio, so how did the meeting go? He's a big Cowboy fan, die-hard Cowboy fan, right? He's like, hey, how did the meeting go? And he's like, well, I'm going to play football, but I'm going to be honest, I kind of have an idea when to go in, but I don't, right? And he's like, hey, Sergio, you remember last year when we played the fight song? He's like, that means we scored a touchdown. That means you go in and kick an extra point. So before you know it, that following year rolled around. I was number 26. And before we would score a touchdown, he would look at me, and then he'd start the band.
Oh, is that right?
And then I remember Friday the 13th, October 13th, 2006, we're playing at Donna High School. I had just kicked extra points up till then. And I finally hit my first field goal. We're in overtime. 26 yards, left hash, wind's going right to left. It's raining. We're in white uniforms, right? Back then, I didn't have much technique. I bended it. I aimed at the right post. I saw that ball go in. I didn't know how to celebrate. I turn around, and I just start screaming, "Goal!" And then I did a soccer celebration where I dove. Tell me first, it was raining. It was grass field. That's the only time I got my jersey dirty. And then the thing is, when I made the football team, I was like, crap, I'm not going to be able to enjoy Felix Tacos. So there's his Felix Barbecue Tacos right at La Jolla High School, right? And after we would march at halftime, my freshman year, they would give us all 2 tacos. One with beef fajita or chicken fajita or sausage. You choose, right? And I was like, darn it, I'm not going to be able to enjoy these tacos. And those tortillas were fire. Well, what I purposely did as I caught on the season was I would leave my bass drum close to my kicking net. And my boys, Steven and Roger, who they're my boys to this day, they had to come pick up my drum. Well, they would leave me 2 tacos in my kicking bag. So in the third quarter, I'd be on one knee, and I'd just be like, I'd be right here, and I will get a bite, go back in, and then next thing you know, I finished both tacos by the time the third quarter ended.
You never got your jersey dirty.
Well, thank God, no, imagine. But yeah, Felix Tacos back in the day were bomb.
Okay, so this is the longest Coors Light chill chat ever, but I love it.
Hey, that's right. There's no Coors Light in here. It's all water.
Yeah. There you go. Thanks for making everyone aware of that. You talked about the first field goal, the 26, the
26
win.
yards.
You can remember it perfectly.
I remember just like yesterday. I remember my mom and we got an argument that day. I can't remember the argument, but she's like, Junior. She always called me Junior. Everyone back home calls me Junior. The only time they call me Sergio is when I'm in trouble. She's like, Junior, I'm not going to your game. I was like, and I was heartbroken. I was like, what? And then, so I hit the game winner, and I remember looking in the stands, trying to find my mom. I'm like, oh, man, she was not here. And I found she was there. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's very cool. So, I mean, you've hit some big field goals, Grey Cups. Could have been the MVP of the 2021 Grey Cup.
No. I'm just
let me riff here, man.
I'm just a pawn in this game. You know what I'm saying?
Anyway, how about the one in Montreal last year?
Oh,
that crazy win,
brother, that was rowdy.
Yeah, that's got to be one of the best ones. You remember?
That's
about that.
One
people
that
talking about that.
yeah. So that game, so I hit it. I recall in the second quarter, I hit a 52 or 53 going that same direction. It was against the wind, and it barely went in. Like, I needed all chorizo power to get in there, right? Like, that wind was rowdy. It was against me. Well, fast forward to the fourth, we attempt the 61. I had to put everything in there, right? Chile, tomate, cebolla, rice, and beans, and let's go, right? And that, I don't know if it reached or not, but it had more distance than the 52 that I hit 2 quarters prior to that. And as I'm walking off the field, I'm already thinking, man, we're going to have to go to BC, and then we got to win there, and then go to Sask. Like, I was just thinking all these scenarios, like, damn it, Serge, right? Or, sorry, dang it, Serge. I'm walking, I get to the sideline, and I'm still doing my walk to the net. Next thing you know, Tanner and Osh come up to me. They're like, hey, they're about to punt. I'm like, there's no way. And then
the weird windstorm.
So then I'm looking on the field. If I'm looking this way, right, I see a pile of what I thought were pieces of paper. And I'm thinking, the Montreal fans just threw these pieces of paper because they were celebrating. No, it was leaves, and this wind just started shifting. Hardcore right to left. So now what in my favor, and next thing you know, they punt the ball, and Osha's like, where do you want the ball? I'm like, give it to me in the right hash. Braden does a little run to the right, but the thing is, as I'm running onto the field, in the middle, the leaves are going like this.
Yeah, it's like a little tornado.
A tornado, right? And the rain, it was kind of hard to judge. So then I asked my caddy, I asked Jams, I'm like, where do I aim? He was like, just play your right center ball, right? Like, I wish I had in golf, but I don't. A nice little draw. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to play that right center. And next thing you know, we kick it. And, yeah, it was pretty cool. And, it was something. And the crazy thing is, so we celebrated, and as soon as we stopped celebrating, 2-3 minutes later, the wind died. Yeah. That was. Yeah.
It was like Dwayne Ford on the TSN said, it's official. God is a bomber.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Okay, I got a couple more here, and then we'll move on to the next one. If you could be an athlete in another sport, you talked about soccer.
I mean, I'm somewhat of an athlete right now. I'm not a full athlete, but yeah.
In another sport.
Yes.
Who would you pick? Like, what would you like?
What do I like to play?
Yeah.
Baseball. Baseball was my first love.
And what position?
What position? Catcher. I played catcher.
Yeah.
I played catcher first, outfield, but I mainly catcher. You know, I don't know. I think it's there's nothing like going to a baseball game. Get you a glizzy. You know,
A glizzy, yeah.
a glizzy.
I didn't know what that was until last year on
Hey,
the show.
we're
yeah.
trying to educate you here. Just like
you're
you're educating me with words. I educate you with food. You know,
Yeah,
life.
okay.
No spice, no life. But no, there's nothing like going to a baseball game. So I just really, I mean, I would love to pursue baseball or soccer, right? But baseball, like, man. So now that Jared, you know, this past off season, we got him into sports, and so obviously we're gonna do the soccer, right? Because we're a soccer family.
Yeah, your wife's a coach, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Big time.
And then, well, one night, it's 2-3 in the morning. I'm doing my homework. I started my master's this past off season, right?
Oh, good for you.
Thank you. And I see this ad pop up about T-ball, and I'm like, oh, I hope there's some for 4-year-olds. Well, lo and behold, 3 and 4-year-olds. So, and that's what he'd be playing with. So I register him, and we keep getting emails. We need coaches to volunteer, and I don't want to coach at all. I just wanted to enjoy. And they're like, well, if we don't get enough coaches, we might not be able to play. Oh, my God. There comes Coach Serge. 3 and 4-year-olds. I'm using ChatGPT. Hey, I'm having 3 and 4-year-olds. How do I construct a practice? Because I am freaking out. It's 45 minutes to an hour, right? And I'm like, I'm just dreading it. And the thing is, like, all these kids are the majority are 3 years old, right? And Jared and Hux, who's Jared's best friend, you know, they're the 4-year-olds.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, how am I gonna do this? So I took some notes from Coach Osh, Catalina, right? So what I do before practice and after practice, I get all the kids, all right, start high-fiving each other. And then I got all the kids all comfortable, you know, like joking around. And before you know it, we went from 1 practice a week to 2 practices a week, and we got serious.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
You're
And
all in on stuff.
Oh, man, and it was fun. It was fun. So in the beginning of the season, like, every parent was out there with their kid on the infield, right? And by the second game, it was amazing because maybe we had 2-3 parents out there, and almost all the kids could be on their own.
Wow.
Which was pretty cool.
Look at you.
And not almost everybody at the end was within less than 2-3 swings. They were hitting the ball. So it was pretty cool to see that.
You'd be an amazing coach.
You're too
You
kind.
bring the energy, man.
I do bring energy.
Yeah.
I might not know much of the game, but I bring energy.
Well, okay.
And we were the Cubs.
You were the Cubs.
We were the Cubs.
Nice. You said you're taking your master's in what?
Sports management, right? So 34, right? This game's not forever. Hopefully I can play another 5 to 8, maybe 10 years. That'd be the goal, right? But I know football's not forever, so I'm like, you know what? I don't want to retire and then be like, now what? What do I do, right? So Adriana, she was on my ass. Sergio, you got to do something. You have 6 months, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, yeah.
I hope she's not watching this because your impersonation is not going to go over.
She's like, Sergio, no, you got so much time, right? Yeah. Like, use it to your advantage. And last year I talked about like, maybe I should have done something in the off season. So I'm like, you know what? Sports, I love sports. I want to be involved in sports. So I'm like, I'm going to take sports management. So I shout out to Dr. Price. I show up to university, right? And so we moved to Canyon this past off season, which is 15 minutes from Amarillo where we're at. But I'm close to my university. I was working out there, and one day I start seeing I was working out with the baseball guys, and I'm like, man, I can be a student athlete again. So then I go to the master's office, and they're like, well, registration closed. You know, it was January 6th, and I think school started on the 11th or 12th, something like that. I'm like, cool, but I'm like, what can I do to register in the summer or the fall? She's like, here are these steps, but you can go talk to Dr. Price and see he can walk you through. I show up, and we're just chit-chatting 10, 15 minutes. Just talking about life. And he's like, hey, so what brings you? I'm like, I want to start my master's. What can I do to get in the fall? And he's like, well, you can start next week if you want. I'm like, count me in? So I call Adriana. I'm like, hey, you're dating a college boy. Oh, boy. I felt so young when I was energetic. I mean, as it is, I'm energetic, right? Yeah. But I felt so young because I was going to go get my little buff card. Because we're the Buffaloes. My school ID, right? But then I started seeing students that Adriana coached. And I'm like, oh, I feel old now. Bunch of 18, 20-year-olds. And I'm like, what are you doing here? So I'm like, I'm going to school. So I felt young and old at once. So I did the class was on facilities, right? So a lot goes on. So props to the facility managers out there. Yeah, it's not easy. And then I did the CFL internship.
Yeah, right.
And I felt after doing that class, it was not a class. I feel like that was a crash course for sports management. So any players out there, I highly advise to apply because after I took that class, after I was there for 4 days, I feel like I went from here to here. It was a crash course, and they did an amazing job. So it was pretty cool because the first 2-3 days, it was like all learning about how the CFL functions, the team, all this stuff, logistics. And then we went to TSN on Thursday and got to meet Kate, and I was like, and then when she's like, hey, Sergio, I'm like, you know who I am. I was like, right? Like,
everybody knows who you are.
No,
Come on.
Kind. And then we got to meet Rod Smith. He was there.
The voice.
Yes. And so he started telling, both of them answered all our questions, but I've always thought broadcasting would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
And Rod was like, I don't really have to know all the X's and O's. I got to commentate. I do have my notes on like, okay, this player runs this way. He's, Kenny Lawler or, Dalton Schoen, yada, 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 right? And it's just on the running style, the way they walk, the way they run, I was like, their body types was like, but he's like, honestly, I just got to lead my analyst in and he can explain the X's and O's. And I'm like, that's my job. That's my future. That's my future that I would like.
Yeah.
So it brought a lot of hope because obviously I don't know the X's and O's of the game. But when he said that, I'm like, wow, I think this is doable, right? And then Friday we did the CFL Invitational Combine.
Yeah.
So it was funny because I started seeing old coaches and, people in the front office that I've played for in the past, right? Like, oh, you want to coach us? I'm like, oh, no, I don't know anything about football. Don't count me in for that.
So your master's, sports
management.
Yeah. What will that end up being?
What do you mean? Like,
What are you going to?
I don't know.
Play by play or
play
whatever?
by. I mean, it would be nice if I would love to do broadcasting,
Yeah.
right? I think that'd be fun. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm still trying to figure out. I ended up liking the marketing aspect, right? I thought that was pretty cool. It's all about relationships, right? How you talk to people, and not everything's gonna go smooth, but the relationship is what's key, right? To keep those partners going. That really interests me a lot as well. Obviously, photography, right? But we'll see.
Yeah. Okay. We do have Duron is still a sponsor, and we have a jersey giveaway, right, Josh?
I'm gonna jump.
in with this.
Excuse me. I'm gonna jump in here for a sec. You guys have been ripping for 40 minutes already. We
Already?
haven't moved on yet.
Okay.
Sergio's got meetings at 3:15, but I'm gonna hop in here quick for a second because we're live on X for the first time. We have a record number of live viewers today. We have over 420 people watching on X. We have over 50 people watching on YouTube for pretty close to 500 for the first time in the show's history. So as we're going here, I just wanted to give a really quick rundown to all the new viewers. We do this every single week, usually at 3 o'clock on Tuesdays. So thanks for tuning into the Huddle. We got different guests every week, players, coaches, staff, all sorts of different people. Ed chops it up with them. We hang out for a bit, and we give away a jersey. So that's coming up, so stay tuned. We're giving away a Sergio Castillo jersey today.
Nice.
So stay tuned for that. And we do the show over on YouTube as well. So come and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And thanks for hanging out. We're probably going to be live on X and YouTube going forward. So that'll be 3 o'clock every Tuesday that we can. Sometimes not by weeks. We're probably not on next week, but Tuesdays at 3 o'clock, we're live with the Huddle. So we got a ton of new people hanging out. So I just wanted to drop that in there.
And thanks for jumping in with that because we have a jersey giveaway we usually do every week too, right? We're doing that. And maybe we'll skip over some stuff here that's on my list because we always like to have fan questions too to get to so that people can feel interactive on all this stuff.
We got a lot of good ones already. A lot of good ones rolling.
Okay, so
what do you want to do? Do you want to go jump around fan questions, or we want to go jersey giveaway? What do you think?
Let's go right to fan questions because let's give people a chance to interact here, and we'll dump a couple of the sections because Sergio and I could riff all day. I didn't know we had gone that fast already. So
I know.
It's all good.
Yeah,
so we're gonna do our quick shout out to Duron Equipment. So
Right.
Duron Equipment is a proud supporter of the show. We're working on a new commercial from them. We had one last year. We're shooting a new one this year, but thank you to them for sponsoring the show and the jersey giveaway. So now I'm going to pull up the link for the for the jersey giveaway. Sam, same link, right? Or you gave me that link already? We'll drop that in the chat right away. Sam, you want to throw that one in on X, and I'll throw it up on YouTube here. And you got to go to this link. It's going to be in the YouTube chat, and then Sam's going to throw it up on X. Hit up that link. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Register with your email for a chance to win a Sergio Castillo jersey. You have to be able to come pick it up at the Bomber store. We will reach out to the winner via email. We'll get you set up with the right size and all that kind of stuff. So
let me know, and when you get here, and we can sign it.
Hey, how about that? That's cool too.
There we go. So that link, Sam, you're good on that on X there. So check out that link. Go there. Sign up for the jersey giveaway. Someone will reach out. You do have to be able to come pick it up at the ticketing counter at Princess Auto Stadium. But that'll be live for the rest of the show. So hop in there, get after that jersey giveaway, and then we're gonna get some fan questions here. Sound good?
It sounds awesome. I'm glad that so many people have joined us on X. We usually are on the Blue Bombers YouTube page. Like and subscribe if you're on there. But this is the first time we've tried X, right? And we're killing it with a number of people. So appreciate you. Again, normally, as Josh said, normally 3 o'clock on Tuesdays. Appreciate Sergio because the schedule changed today. That's why we moved an hour earlier. And sometimes we're at the mercy of the meetings. A football team isn't always by the clock. Things get changed around, and that's what happened. And last week when Chris Kolinkowski was supposed to join us and could not. So, okay, let's go right to fan questions,
here we go.
Josh.
So we're gonna rattle through some questions here, whatever. If you have questions, drop them in the YouTube chat, drop them in the live chat on X, and we'll do our best to get to all of them before we run out of time here. So first one is from Mike, and he wants to know if you got a top Mexican place in Winnipeg that you would recommend to people.
I don't have one yet. So my house. Now,
But don't give out your address.
all right. No, I don't. I haven't found one yet. I'd be calling my mother-in-law to run me through the recipe to make tortillas, and they don't come out round. They come out like animal crackers, but they taste kind of decent. So,
Okay. All right.
Next question. What is the longest field goal you've ever kicked, practice or game?
so game last year, we were fortunate to hit 2 60-yarders. And then in practice, we did hit a 71 last year in the bye week.
That's
right?
crazy.
Now, did I have a little bit of Amarillo by morning type of wind? Yeah, I did have a little wind behind me. But, but yeah, that's the longest one I've recorded.
Wow.
Next one. For such a big Cheetos guy, have you ever tried Hawkins Cheesies?
No.
They're Canadian.
Hey.
They're
No, where can I get those?
They're good. They're kind of.
We'll do a video.
They're
We'll do a
crunchy.
video.
Yeah,
All
we'll do. They're crunchy or harder.
My
But,
favorite.
yeah, and if you freeze them, it'd be perfect for your
Let's
pepperoni
do it.
pizza.
You might break a
post-game.
tooth on a frozen Hawkins Cheesy.
Huh?
You might break a tooth on a frozen Hawkins Cheesy.
That's possible too, but yeah, we'll put a card for a dentist in with the package. Okay,
Next question.
you got to try Hawkins.
Hey,
That
I'm
was a good
down. I'm
question.
down.
Sergio, are you still doing photography gigs? And if so, do you have a favorite sport to cover?
I do. Actually, I went to go shoot the Gold Eyes 2-3 times this past week. You can tell I'm a baseball fan. But favorite sport to shoot would probably be basketball because there's a lot of action. There's constant action with the basketball, right? So I like doing videos as well now, right? It's kind of cool just to do highlight reels of little moments here and there, right? But baseball's pretty cool. It's a little bit slower, right, compared to and not as much action compared to your basketball. Soccer, obviously, right? We got to do the Valor against the Whitecaps, and I got to record 2 goals. I got lucky. So yeah, that was pretty cool.
We got the best photographer in the league in the building. Right
Oh
here,
yeah.
Cam
Hey, if y'all
Farley.
don't know, Cam is in the building, and now he's it's a miracle that Cam still hangs out with us. This guy, he's on a different status, right? So the fact that he is just in here, we are blessed with his presence.
Yes, we are.
And I'm not being egregious.
There it is. Hey, there it is.
Well done. Okay.
Just
Why are you
before,
turning red?
just before we move on, you were doing recruiting photos at your old
Oh
your
yeah.
school,
Oh,
right?
you know what? That was pretty cool. So my university, West Texas A&M University, we're
What's
a small.
the nickname of West Texas?
Do what?
What's the nickname of the team?
The Buffaloes.
Oh yeah, the Buffalo.
Roll on the Buffaloes. Coach Carter would always be like, "It's a good day to be a Buffalo."
Okay.
Right? So yeah, with the new coaching staff, Coach Lynn, he's like, hey Serge, we are bringing in recruits and we're gonna be in the stadium. Can you take some photos? And I was like, I'd be down. They had a fog machine, which is I've been wanting to do that. And I purchased my first studio light, right? So I got to learn a little bit. It's a different game, right? It's with adding a studio light. So that was pretty cool. Taking photos of using the studio light at night with the stadium lights on, some fog. So it's pretty cool, right? So hopefully, this grows into, I'm really passionate about it. I'm still trying to learn and grow. I'm constantly asking these two, Josh and Cam, questions. How can I get better, right? So, and every time I take photos, I send them over to them. I'm like, what do you think, right? Watching film, right? And so yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, man. He's got some good chops. New guy. He's got the eye for it. It's
He's
pretty
being too kind. Too kind.
This is from Richard. He says, Serge, can you tell us the story of when you were with the New York Jets and got mistaken for a lunchroom employee?
Oh, yeah. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
So I do the tryout and I signed the contract, but the night before I could not sleep because I was so anxious about the tryout, right? So I signed the contract and I'm thinking I'm going to bed. I'm going to a hotel. I'm like, I'm going to nap. And coach is like, no, we have practice in an hour. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, but hey, go get some lunch. And this is during COVID year, right? So there was maybe like 15, 20 tables, but it was only one person per table. So I'm chowing down on my food, right? Yada, 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 right? And next thing you know, this older lady, right? Kind of like my grandma's age, right? She comes in and she's like, we start chit-chatting, right? And after a couple sentences, she's like, Español. I'm like, sí. And we start talking Spanish. She's like, soy de Colombia. I'm from Colombia. And I'm like, all my family's from Mexico. Mind you, this is all conversation in Spanish. And after like a couple minutes, she's like, hey, mijo, you can't be here. You're going to have to come work already. Like, you can't. It's only for the players. And I was like, I'm a player. And she was like, what? And she could not believe it. And next thing you know, she calls all 15 Latinos that were, that are custodians or they'd be the cooks. Yeah. And they were like, they couldn't believe that I was on the team. And I showed them my badge and everything. They were ready to give me the broom and the mop. I'm like, let's go. And, but after that, they treated me like a golden child. Every day I had my jalapenos or salsa, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They took care of me very well.
All right on.
That's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. What a story. Next up, do you have a favorite, most significant, or best memory as a Blue Bomber?
As a Blue Bomber, there's quite a few. There's obviously the Grey Cup,
2021.
12 points down, right? And our offense was just rolling. The fourth came back. But when I debuted it, right, October 6th, 2015 at BC Place. We had to win.
First Bomber game.
It was my first Bomber game. We had to win to keep the playoff chances alive. And I recall going 5 for 5, and we line up for a 41-yarder game winner. And I'm lining up, and next thing you know, Osh calls a timeout. And I was like, what's going on? And later on, he's like, it's because the play clock was running down. And he's like, I didn't want it to get a 5-yard penalty. So I remember kicking the game winner, and it was wild because it had taken me, probably a good year and a half to like land a starting job, and to start it like that and to now be here 10 years later as a Bomber is just, but yeah, that memory, the Grey Cup, I'm trying to think which one.
Last year in Montreal.
Montreal, yeah, that one's up there. Yeah, that one's up. Yeah, Montreal. I would say that, the Montreal one, now that I think about it, because that was divine intervention right there.
You probably ran about 200 yards after celebrating.
Oh, yeah. That's the most. I told Osh, I don't have no more sprints left for the playoffs. So I told Osh, I only have 5 sprints a year, right? And I let all 5 there go. I had to borrow some from this year.
Okay, this next one is interesting. It'll either be very quick or it'll be very interesting. There's really no in between.
Oh,
good setup, Josh.
Sergio, have you ever seen a ghost?
A ghost? No.
Well, there you go.
That
That's
was
it.
it.
Very
Okay.
simple.
Yeah,
Very simple answer.
Yeah, no, never seen a ghost.
Okay.
That's it. I thought if there was a story there, that would have been unbelievable.
I know.
And no wasn't. No, that's all right.
I mean, my mom, my grandma, and my aunts would always tell us about La Llorona. You know, she's gonna come and get you if you don't come in. If you don't go to bed, I'm like, oh, don't tell me about that. Next thing you know, you're under the covers, right? And like, is she coming for me? Or el cucuy. I do the same thing to Jared now. I'm like, hey, you're not going to bed? Ahí viene el cucuy. The cucuy's coming for you. That cucuy's a legend, man.
Okay. My face is sore, by the way, from laughing so much here.
Next question's from Lori, and she says, what are your feelings on chilaquiles?
Especially when the mother-in-law makes them. That's why I don't have a six-pack, man.
Why don't you tell people what those are?
So essentially, it's like you get a pan and you get chilaquiles, which is like essentially like corn chips, tortillas, right? And then you fry them. Throw some cheese and a red or green salsa. Pretty good. It's not my go-to, but it's pretty good.
Okay.
Right.
What is your go-to then?
For breakfast?
Right. I don't know. Yeah, sure. It sounds like these could all be the same meal. Breakfast, lunch, and supper.
You did say rice and beans all day last time you were
Here's
on
the thing.
show.
I could eat rice and beans all day. And you give me some beef fajita, and we're good to go. I can eat that every day.
Okay.
But honestly, you give me some beef fajita, and then we'll get some eggs over easy. You can let the yolk come out, 2 or 3 of them, with some flour tortillas and a good salsa. My favorite.
Frozen Cheetos on a pizza, too.
On pizza?
Yeah,
that too,
That's your other go-to.
Yeah, but for breakfast, that would be it.
Okay.
And especially like if the fajitas are like marinated for a good while, at least half a day, my favorite.
Okay. All right, how are we doing for questions?
A couple comments, and then a couple questions, and then we're out of here. Coming up on 3 o'clock, we'll get you to your meetings.
I gotta go to work.
Yeah.
First one, love your field goal song. Did you have a hand in that?
Huh?
Did you have a hand in picking that?
Oh
track?
yeah, I'm like, cause I'm thinking like some of these guys can pick their songs, right? So I'm like, I'll put Mariachi Loco, right? So get a little flavor, you know,
Yeah.
a little taste,
Yeah.
right?
That's good.
Next one, Sergio makes Ed's job pretty easy in these kind of interviews.
This is I said I did all this planning, and it doesn't really matter. Once we got going, when you sat down before we even went on the air, I knew I don't even need this.
You know, the same thing happens to me because I do motivational speaking in the off season here and there, right?
Yeah.
And I have a sheet like that
Yeah.
where like bullet points, and Adriana's like, I don't know why you have it, like, cause I'm always off script.
Yeah.
I'm just going to plug the jersey giveaway one more time before we wrap up here. There's a link in the chat on YouTube and on X for the jersey giveaway. You can win a Sergio jersey. So go enter that with your email. Subscribe to the YouTube channel for an additional entry. And then if you win, you'll pick it up at the Bomber store. The team will be in contact via your email. So check out that jersey giveaway. It'll be up for a little while longer. Thanks to everyone for hanging out again. We got over 500 people watching on X, so that's awesome.
Yep.
I'll end with one last question, and then I'll throw it back to you, Ed, to wrap it up here. So this one says, Sergio, what are your thoughts on this year's training camp, and how are you feeling about the team and the upcoming season?
Well, the goal is always to win it all, right? And, you know, with it being at home, that's the goal. But, you know, we have quite a few new guys, right? We have some spots to fill in. So this has been a camp where, like, even Stan and I were talking about it. It's like, hey, it's going to be key this time that we have. I think this is the time that we're going to spend the most with the guys, right? Meetings, lunch, breakfast, dinner, and then the majority of us staying in the dorms, right? So it gives us that time to get to know each other, right? So, about a week ago, we built some grit. Because which is all about grit, and it was the longest practice, and it was like 2 degrees. It was raining, and we were at Bison Field, and I was wet, and I didn't have extra clothes. Oh, brother! The first 5 minutes in practice, I was fine because I was kicking, but after that, I was freezing. But we developed some grit there. I'm like, man, if we can overcome this day, well, whatever's coming next is easy, right? Yeah. But no, it's just fun to be out there with the guys, you know. You know, for me, like I tell people, what do you do for work? I'm like, I practice for 5-10 minutes a day, and the 2-3 hours, I'm just trying to make people laugh, you know, get to know them and stuff like that. So feel real good about the team. Obviously, you know, with Zach, Brady, you got Stanley, you got Willie, you got those guys. It's like, man,
It's still going to be a real good football team. I think.
I think we're going to be a really damn good football team.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know much about football, but I know the vibes, and the vibes are good.
You've been playing for how many years now, pro?
This will be my 11th
You know
year.
way more about football than
I
you're saying.
don't. I really don't. I really don't.
Well, you're taking sport management courses now, too. You're taking notes,
No,
mental notes.
mental notes,
Okay.
but on the business side. You know?
Yeah. Well, maybe you could be an agent. Is that?
Oh, that'd be cool.
Okay.
You know, get to travel around. You know, hey, I'm going to my client's game. Sheesh. Here's Sergio. Here'll be some tickets for you. Perro. That'd be nice.
Well, see, okay, how long have we been going here, Josh? We could keep going
Hey.
forever, but you got meetings in about 15 minutes. So I appreciate you squeezing us in here. Always a pleasure, Sergio. We got to do another one later this year.
Let's do it.
And we're going to bring in
Let's get a
some
flat grill.
Hawkins cheesy. We'll get a grill.
Let's get a flat grill. Let's mic us up,
Yeah,
and we'll make some salsa,
yeah.
right, from scratch.
Okay.
We'll do some. We can find some good beef
A
fajita.
cooking special.
Yeah.
We'll do a cooking special,
Okay. And then the Hawkins cheesies.
Yep.
You can try those.
and then we need some dessert.
Oh, boy, this might be more than one show. Extra show.
He only practices 10 minutes a day.
That's
That's
true.
all
You
I
can
do,
come back
right?
whenever.
Yeah, while the guys are practicing, I'll get the flat grill going, and I'll be cooking for all the guys.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Well, listen, thanks a lot for Sergio for joining us. Again, training camp is crazy for these guys with meetings.
I know, man.
Look at it.
No. Hey, props to the offensive, defensive guys because they literally live here, right? Like our meeting is probably only an hour
Yeah.
ish, right? So, and then they still have to go to their meetings, right? If I was an offense or defensive guy, I'd probably be close to like 500-600 milligrams of caffeine. Just stay awake.
That would be an egregious amount.
Egregious.
Okay. Listen, thanks for everybody for joining us on our YouTube channel and on X. Really appreciate all the people that have joined in. Every Tuesday at 3, probably not next week because the Bombers have the bye in the first week of the season, which some people like. I don't like it because I'd like to get us going here,
Yeah.
but whatever. We'll play them when they tell us to play them. Thanks to my guy Josh, our producer, for my compadres Sam and Cam for making this work. Greatly appreciate everybody who joined us. Thanks to Coors Light. Thanks to Duron Equipment, our title sponsors. And we'll see you next couple weeks on Tuesday at 3 o'clock YouTube and on X. Thanks very much for joining us.